So, after a long time, I have got the opportunity to ask some deep questions because I have been thinking about to make some questions, but I don't get the opportunity because I'm a procrastinator, right? So, I have some question, and the first question I have for you that is, when we are learner, that time we can procrastinate because sometimes we have our free time, but being a corporate employee, you don't get the opportunity to procrastinate, or you can't procrastinate, right? So what's your view on this? Yeah, you're absolutely right that I it is not that I don't feel like procrastinate, but it is I cannot procrastinate. Otherwise, there are my seniors, there are my managers, those will be screaming at me. They'll saying, "What the hell are you doing? Just don't do it. Do your work, get your salary, and get the hell out of here." So, yeah, I cannot procrastinate there. It is really important to make my data. At the same time, I do not feel like procrastinating at the same time earning the same money the way the people hard earning doing like more hard work than me. So at the same time, like at a certain point of time, it feels regretting. I feel like no, I cannot do this because there are people those who are doing really hard work. They're hardworking and they're giving their best, they're meeting their data, they're earning the same money. But if I earn the same amount of money not doing anything, then like it doesn't feel good. I feel so bad within. So yes, I cannot procrastinate at all. Yeah, very nice answer. So I was reading a wonderful sentence, and there I found that it happens to all of us because whenever we are learner or we are a human being, that time whatever we think we become like that. Because if I feel like that I'm scared and I'm afraid, then after some time I become afraid or I become scared. So what do you think? Is it really good or it's bad? Well, it's true because what happens, the kind of mindset you grow with, the kind of lifestyle you start moving on with, the kind of attitude you grow up. Because let's say every single day you're going through frustrations, you think that I cannot do it, and what I found that you actually get turned into that particular attitude. You feel like yes, I actually cannot do anything, I'm good for nothing. You start losing hope from yourself, and it's awful, it doesn't feel good. So then later I started feeling cherishing. I thought that okay, it's okay when I'm going there at my workplace. It's okay to be frustrated, it's okay to not being able to meet my data and all of those things. But when I'm getting back home, if I'm carrying the same vibe with me, then what's the difference? How I'll be able to do my work? I'll not be able to gain any knowledge, I'll not be able to you know uh, learn something more which is more important than my frustration. So yes, the thing you provide importance to, the kind of lifestyle you lead, the kind of attitude you'll gain, and the way you will actually lead your life. And I always try myself to be in the present moment. Hence, when I'm working, I always try to be in my work. When I'm getting back home, I always try to be in my work environment. There I go through books, there I read, there I do lot more. There I, let's say when I'm cooking, if I constantly think, okay, tomorrow I'll be going my office, and then I gotta do this, I gotta do that, so what will happen? So it is actually unnecessary. When I'm taking the same frustration to my room, then I will not be able to pay attention to the present moment. When I'm reading at the same time, I'm not thinking about my eating, I'm not thinking about my journaling, I'm not thinking about my work. Then I'm only reading. Otherwise, I'll not be able to do. Though it's really hard to be focused on a particular thing these days or this era of distraction. though I try. So in such a way, I try to be focused in the present moment so that I don't get distracted, so that I don't take my frustration to something which is actually trying to make me a good person, which is actually trying to make me a, a good soul, which is teaching me something. So yes, the kind of the present moment is, I always try to behave in such a way. So yeah.
Yeah, great. So I have also a follow-up question for you, because whenever we begin our career, that time we always think about our communication skill, because that matters a lot.
Yes, a lot.
Because in order to face some client, or if I work in a bank, then I have to meet so many people, right? So, how do you manage your communication skill, and what method do you follow in order to talk to anybody?
Wow, nice question. Thanks for this question. It reminds me of of an incident that, I do not have a lot of knowledge about technology. Hence, when I was interviewed, first time when I came in contact with lots of questions about technology, how to add a printer to a computer, how to do a tune up and clean up and all. So I made a call back and I said, "Ma'am, I'm so sorry. I cannot give the interview." She said, "Why?" I said, I don't even have a single idea about my own mobile. I don't know what my mobile's operating system is and all of those things. How can I provide resolution about something I have no idea about? So then she said, I don't know, God's blessing, and absolutely because of this particular class, which has taught me, like, this class is not only for spoken English, it's for growing up with our overall personalities. Yes. Like, this class teaches us that how to sit properly, how to speak properly, how to face camera, how to talk to people, how to greet them. So only because of those things I have learned communication skill, and I'm very happy that that time that ma'am said, you have a good communication skill, so just move on with this, and later word will be providing you the training, and that's it, just do this. So then I, even after hitting the floor, I asked my manager that, why did you choose me? Because I have no idea. So he cracked a joke and he said, it was my mistake because you have no idea about technology. I said, yeah, so why did you choose me? He said, I knew that you can manage the client even if you're unable to resolve the issue. So in such a way, and I try to talk to strangers, because what happens when you're talking to a stranger, you come to know what actually they're going through at that moment. So when I do journey in train, let's say I talk to my fellow traveler. I say that, how are you doing? Like, what are you reading? What are you watching? So I just start up a conversation and we just move on with that until unless the journey ends. And in such a way, I talk to my colleagues. There are lots of people, those who are much more knowledgeable than me. Like, I never knew that these sort of things may happen in this world. They share lots of things, and I always try to speak in English so that I can nourish it too. So in such a way, I try to move on with a good communication. I try to talk to people. I try to, like, communication depends on attitude a lot, what I've found. Because let's say you are saying, "Hi, how are you doing?" It doesn't work. Actually, it doesn't work. Let's say, "Hey, how are you doing?" Like, how is your all day been going on? Like, you're greeting somebody. That's the reason why I have seen so many colleagues of mine. I'm not disrespecting, with due respect. I'm saying that when I'm working on a client's computer, let's say there is a blank time, like when the client is just silent, I'm also silent. It feels very awkward. So to fill the gap, I always ask, "Hey, how's your day today? How have you been doing? Or how's the weather there?" There are some limitations. I cannot go above that. Okay, how is your personal life going on? I cannot ask this sort of questions. So starting up with this sort of questions, sometimes I find some client, they actually share their life. That, last time I found a client, she said, that I'm 67 years old, babe, and still I love to do horse riding. People say that I'm a tomboy and I love to play basketball, volleyball, and I really feel good making others feel good. I love to make people happy. So I said, yeah, you've made my day. So in such a way, when you're talking to people, even if you don't want to learn from them, to just simply want to know, to go through the particular situation, what they're going through, it makes you experience, or it helps you to acquire good attitude, or whatever the communication skill you say. So yes.
Yeah, and the last question I have for you, because whenever we listen properly, whenever we listen to a person properly, we can ask question.
Yeah.
So now my situation is like that. If I don't listen to you properly, I can't ask question, right? So I want to know that how do you listen to a person, and what's your intention behind your mind, and how do you listen to a person?
Well, I don't know, but whenever I talk to a people, I always try to let them finish, because it is one of the crucial part of being in a conversation. When you're listening to a person, let's say you're constantly interrupting. You say, okay, let me tell you. So the person you're talking to, he or she feels like, oh, okay, just you talk. I don't want to move on with the conversation. He or she feels really bad. They feel like, okay, I don't have any importance here, so you talk. I will be listening to you. So you have to let the person finish first. Then, as you've just mentioned, that when you listen properly, you come up with lots of ideas. You can ask lots of questions. So I always try to learn from what the person is trying to say. I try to observe what the person is saying, and with a simple conversation, you can come to know, like, maybe not the whole person, but at least 10% of that person's attitude, or what actually they have in their mind, how they treat the world, or how they are actually thinking about the world. Through their words you can come to know, like, let's say the person is saying, like, I love to do that, I love to do this, I have seen that person doing this is a nonsense and all. So it means the person always prioritizes himself or herself, not the person he or she is treating. So yeah, in such a way I try to let them finish, though sometimes I do feel like, just, okay, I also want to talk, but I always try to let them finish. And my intention or ulterior motive behind it is, I want to learn. Okay, tell me something more.
And also, whenever we listen to a person a lot, then we can learn a lot, right?
Certainly. When you're listening deeply, then you can come to know what the person is sharing. Then you come to know lots of things probably you have never heard of. So yes, my intention is to learn and to just begin with something new which I've never known.
So thank you so much. If you are still listening to us, or if you are still watching us, so thank you so much, and that's it.